Salutations, Skoobeliever! Do you have a dream of becoming an entrepreneur, but don't know where to start or even what to do? Where can I gather information quickly about what's in my zone of genius? Don't worry, Skoobelievers, I got you covered. Go to tuepodcast.net/AI prompt and check out an amazing set of AI prompts that will give you ideas, information, and articles to help you get across that start line. Once again, go to tuepodcast.net/AI prompt to get you started now. Good luck, Skoobeliever. Undiscovered Entrepreneur, episode number 4. Attention, Skoobelievers. Grab your audience by the eyeballs with eye-catching logo animations. Give your brand the visual enhancement it needs to thrive in a digital world. Go to topbizdesigns.com, where excellence meets design. Welcome to the Undiscovered Entrepreneur, the podcast where brand new entrepreneurs come to life and could quite possibly be discovered. Join me, DJ Skoob, and the rest of the Skoobelievers as we help these new businesses become a reality. And now, away we go! Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 4 of the Undiscovered Entrepreneur. I'm really glad to have you here today to listen to my voice and possibly learn something. So I just wanted to let you know that I have a very, very special announcement at the very end of this program. So please listen all the way through and we'll find out what it is. So also, while you're listening to this, I just want to kind of let you know right up front here, we have my first affiliate promotion, so that's going to be about halfway through there. And just so you know who it is, it's actually Philip Hughes on episode number 2. He and I kind of got together a little bit about his software program, and he decided to make me an affiliate in his program. So just so you know, if you decide to take advantage of that, I do get a commission from that, but it doesn't cost you anything different. But kind of listen for that and let me know how you think, if it sounds good or not. So with that being said, I'd like to introduce you to a young lady who is a coach and a very good one at that. Sounds like she has a lot going on. She coaches through spirituality, and she says that's what really kind of brings her alive, is helping other people, which is what we really like to do here. Her mantra is actually really nice. I like it. Live life intentionally. And I've actually been thinking about that a lot lately. So let's see what that's about. Let's listen to her problems that she had when she moved from a new state to another new state, and the kind of problems she had getting that together. And who to actually listen to when she was trying to ask for advice. All the advice coming from right and left, and what she had to do to kind of overcome sorting all that out. She also has an amazing quote from somebody that she kind of reveres a little bit, so listen for that. And how she loves to help other people and really makes it a goal for herself to help as many people as possible. So, with that being said, let's all listen to Bekah George. Salutations, Skoobelievers. This is DJ Skoob. Coming at you. We are actually having our next interview today with Bekah. Hi, Bekah.
Hi.
All right. So we're going to go right into it here, but I have a very serious question to ask you first, though. Are you a Skoobeliever?
Absolutely.
All right. We have our next Skoobeliever, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so, so much. So please tell us how long you've actually been doing your business and what your business is, and a little more about yourself.
Absolutely. So my name is Bekah, Rebecca George. I am a licensed mental health counselor. I'm a life coach. And my business is Sheer Vision Coaching. So I actually just started it in March of this year. So it's been about
Oh,
a little over 2 months. So it's brand new.
congratulations on
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Thank you. So yeah, it's pretty exciting. I basically take the things that I know, the knowledge, the experience, the expertise that I have as a therapist, and utilize that to make me a great life coach. I do have some specializations. I specialize with anxiety and depression, kind of eradicating some limiting beliefs, gaining confidence, and then also spirituality. So I'm faith based, and so I also kind of have that as a niche as well.
That's amazing. I might have to talk to you a little bit later after this here.
I love that.
All right. So what actually made you start this business? What was the actually thing that said, this is what I want to do?
Yeah, so I've always been passionate about helping people. I love helping people because I'm faith based. I believe that that's my calling is to help people and to love people, and it's a gift that I have. I love to give. I love to very empathetic, and so I've always wanted to be someone who helps people. I would say the majority of therapists in the world probably come into this field out of their own trauma or out of trauma from someone else, right? And so that is my story as well. I had some childhood trauma, and I wanted to help other people who had been through those similar things. And I wanted to show them the hope that is, comes in healing, right? Because healing is a process that's really difficult and is not easy. And I decided to go from therapy to life coaching for several reasons. But the main reason is because I was really kind of boggled down with constantly dredging up the past. So
Hmm.
there's definitely some beauty in that. There's definitely time to do that. Healing, a lot of times you do have to go back and look at your past, but it just kind of drained me. It made me very sad to always have to go back into the past with people all of the time. And I felt like some people just weren't moving forward. So my soul kind of comes alive when I do coaching. I'm able to help people to say like, okay, these are some of the things that have happened. Yes, we can focus on that for a small period of time, figure out how to heal from that. But let's move forward into using that to propel you forward into something good, and make some like solution focused goals and figure out what you want to get done, like what areas of your life are you not content, are you feeling unfulfilled, and let's make that happen so that you can live life on purpose. That's kind of my little tagline is to live life intentionally and to design your own life as if it's a puzzle. So let's sit down and just knock it out.
Got to put those puzzle pieces together to make sure that everything gets where you want to be. I actually had some childhood stuff that happened to me too, and the way I actually thought about it was, what happened to me, I want to do the complete opposite of to make sure that my life is much better. It's actually worked pretty well for me. So
Yeah.
you do some great work, and I really appreciate what you do, and I hope a lot of people that see this and hear this, will appreciate it too.
Thank
So,
you.
let me ask you, what are a couple of pitfalls that you've had so far, as far as just starting your business out? And what are some things that's happened to you that might have been like, oh, why is this happening, or anything like that?
Yeah, a lot of things. So I recently moved to a different state. I moved from Indiana to Florida. And so it was kind of difficult to learn Florida rules versus Indiana rules because I have owned a business in Indiana before. Florida's completely different. They do things on their own little world. So learning that process of where I missed some things and had to go back and fix it, and a lot of like talking to people, trying to figure out what hoops I need to go through in order to get legal. That was kind of a process. Also, I would say one of the biggest and hardest things is marketing. So trying to figure out who to listen to. I feel like everybody has different opinions, different perspectives. Everyone's an expert, right? And they're a pro. And they're constantly telling me like spend more money on marketing to get your name out there. Other people are saying spend more money on social media management. Other people are saying use more of this content and less of this content. And it's never cohesive. And it's really frustrating because it's like, I just want to help people. I just want to get my name out there so people know who I am and just do what I do best. But I feel like there's so many of those logistical things that make it so difficult.
Marketing really is probably one of the most difficult things about starting a business, getting your name out there, and people knowing what you're doing and how you're doing it and things like that. It's been a little rough for me too. That's actually one of the reasons why I started the podcast originally, was to get my name out there for my company. But it's really kind of blossomed into something where I can help other people like yourself, where it's just not going to cost you anything to get your name out there, and do what you need to do to get things rolling.
Yeah.
So hopefully I can help you a little bit out here.
I appreciate that. Yeah. Thank
and,
you.
and it doesn't cost a dime. And when it comes to a lot of people that are giving you advice and things like that, it comes at you like a hailstorm. But you
Mhm.
really, when it comes to something like that, you really kind of got to trust your gut with which way you want to go. I mean, you got voices coming all over the place saying, do this, don't do that. If I was going to give any kind of advice or something like that, is trust your gut, go with what you feels right.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's what's so hard is because it's like I trust my gut, I trust myself. I know that I've done this before. Like I've done a business before, but it's been a different kind of business. So it's just different. And now I feel like because the internet changes so often, it's like, constantly like you have to keep up with things. Like everyone tells me get a TikTok. I'm like, I don't even know what TikTok is. Like I'm 35. I'm not 15. So I don't know how this stuff works.
Totally join the club because I have no idea how TikTok even works. I'm even kind of struggling with Instagram. I have no idea. I asked my 14-year-old
Yes.
son, like, how do you work at Instagram, son? He goes, Dad, come on,
Right.
really? I'm like, yes, really. I
Yeah.
mean,
I can do a video, but I cannot do a reel. I don't know how to do it. And so I asked my 11-year-old and she was just kind of like, well, I don't know. I don't have Instagram because she's not allowed on social media yet. But she's like, I'm sure I can figure it out faster than you. I'm like, oh, thank you so much. But yeah, it's just kind of hard to like figure out where to put that money to and what to actually put effort into. And then some people say, hey, you need to put your face out there more. And other people are like, no, don't use your face, use other content. And so it's really difficult to know.
A good book, I'm assuming you read. A lot of entrepreneurs do a lot of reading. Have you read The Lean Startup by chance?
I have not. What's it called again?
The Lean Startup. I'll send
The
it to
Lean
you.
Startup.
Yeah, I'll send it to you. That's actually a really good book for people that are just starting out that don't want to spend a whole lot of money on businesses. One of the main focuses of the book is to take your least viable product. The product works, no matter how good or bad it is, the product works, and use that as a test market to get your name out there and get reactions from it, get feedback from it, and then start morphing it and changing it to what everybody's, from that input. So that
Yeah.
might be something you might want to look into that might help things out.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I'll definitely look into that.
Now, another question, do you have any influences or do you have anybody that you look up to as far as keeping yourself moving forward, keeping yourself motivated? Any particular person or kind of like mine is I listen to specific songs every single day to keep myself pumped up and motivated. Do you do anything like that? Or do you have somebody that keeps you motivated?
I don't have like a specific person like in this field that I look up to necessarily, although I do have a coach that I work with that is kind of a little bit of everything. So he does some spiritual direction, like spirituality coaching with me. He does some business coaching, some consulting with me, and he is awesome. His name is Levi Huffman, and he is super great. He is out of Indiana, actually, and so he kind of helps me to be inspired to continue doing what I'm doing. But what he does is a little bit different than what I do. But as far as kind of what keeps me going every single day, first of all, my relationship with God, because I'm very faith-based, so that's an important thing for me.
Oh yeah.
And then also there's a quote that I had found online that I just fell in love with, and I have been saying it constantly. And it's from someone named Nicole Lyons. I don't know who she is, but I love her quote. And it says, whatever it is that stirs your soul, listen to that. Everything else is just noise. And I
Wow.
love that because it's like, when I told you that I come alive when I get to coach and when I get to help people kind of find their purpose and figure out how to live life intentionally, that is what makes my soul come alive, and everything else is just kind of background noise.
That's great. That is a very awesome and powerful quote. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
And now we're going to pause to pay some bills. All right, Skoobelievers, do you spend hours on end gathering analytic information for yourself or your company, trying to decipher Google information, social media algorithms, and then make sense of it all? Then having to spend almost the entire day making a chart to present to your managers or partners? Stop the madness with a single press of a button. Elementary Analytics does all the work for you. Elementary Analytics is an online software solution that pulls together all website, search, and social media data you need and presents it to you in a way that you can understand, allowing you to make informed marketing decisions guided by the data. And with a single press of the button, Elementary Analytics produces printable charts that can be used in any presentation. I tried it for myself, and I was blown away by its ease of use and capabilities. Not sure if it'll work for you? Try it risk-free for 14 days with no credit card needed. Just go to tuepodcast.net go to the online store and click on my affiliate link, Elementary Analytics TUE, for your 14-day free trial. That's tuepodcast.net, then Elementary Analytics. All right, so here's an interesting question. I know you're just getting started, and I understand that, but when will you know you've made it? I mean, when you get that feeling like, oh, this is where I really wanted to be, like it was a specific amount of money or like finding your name in a book or something like that. When do you think you've actually made it? Have you ever thought about that?
I have. So I have a lot of goals. I try to sit down every single month and make monthly goals and then yearly goals, weekly goals. So I'm very goal oriented. So I have a lot of those things that I feel like I want to see happen at some point before, I die. But I think that one thing is the freedom to be able to kind of not constantly worry about, what my business is looking like. I mean, of course, I'm always going to I'll put a lot of effort into it, but I want to be able to know that, I have the income to be able to continue working and doing what I need to do without it being stressful for me, where I'm like, okay, I've got to pay this, I've got to pay this, I've got to pay this. And I don't want to worry about the financial part of it as much as just being able to help people. I also think that a big part of it will be whenever I'm able to give away some of my services for free. I would love to be able to help people who can't afford it. And I just can't do that at this time. I'm a single mom, and it's not exactly easy for me to do right now. I did give a lot of discounted rates through COVID, and it's just really difficult. So I think when I get to that place of being able to give away some time, and ultimately my dream and my goal is to actually own a kind of enterprise where I have multiple different coaches and therapists underneath me. So I want different niches, relationship coach, health coach, different kinds of therapists. And so that I can have that residual income, I can do part-time work myself, and then I can go do some ministry work is actually what I really want to do.
Wow, that is so awesome. You have a great dream in front of you there. I'm pretty sure you'll achieve it if you keep doing what you're doing.
I'm believing God, and I am working hard. That's my thing to do. So
that's awesome. Okay. So let me ask you this, because I don't know if you've come across this yet or not, but if you have actually met somebody that's looking to get into the same business as you, what advice would you give them? What kind of like, this is what you need to do, or this is what I do. Can you, you probably should do something similar. What about something like that?
So I think number one thing is try to figure out your vision. It's really hard specifically with coaching to find your vision, because there's all sorts of different coaching. There's all sorts of different things that can go on. Different people will ask for, health coaching and life coaching and business coaching and marketing coaching. And there's all of these different types of coaching. And a lot of times coaches, in my experience, they have wanted to make themselves as broad as possible and make themselves as popular as possible. So they say that they do everything, right? But there's no way that you could do everything well. It's just not possible. So my suggestion and advice would be to kind of choose a niche and choose a direction that you want to go and be okay with that. I mean, there may be sometimes you step outside of that and say, this isn't my favorite thing to do or the thing that I'm great at, but I can do it. But for the most part, choose that one thing that really like sets your soul on fire and go from there.
Yeah, that goes into a couple of things we talked about earlier, like trusting your gut and kind of go in the direction that going to go. But sometimes, like most entrepreneurs, they want to be a trade of everything. And what I've actually found, if you want to try to help everybody, you're going to end up helping nobody just because you're trying to get here, they're trying to get there. Oh, I got to learn this, learn that. You got to niche down, and then you got to niche down again, and then you have to niche down until it hurts. I heard that on another podcast, so I'm stealing that one. So once you get to that point, you know where to start. And then once you're good at that, then branch out into something else that you might be interested in, but always kind of have that particular niche to be able to work at. Is it niche or niche? Because I've heard.
I don't know. I've heard both. I feel like niche is a little more fancy, so I go with niche, but it could be niche.
I'm not a fancy guy, so I'm going to stick with niche. Okay.
Okay.
So I'm going to ask you this. I know we've already kind of gone through a few questions, but what is the one question you wish I would have asked you, but I didn't?
Probably, what is the best part about starting your own business?
Oh, okay. What is the best part about starting your business?
Honestly, the best part is the hope that comes from it. I remember being in, my whole life, I've worked, 8 to 5, Monday through Friday, and then I've had a second job to try to supplement income, being a single mom for a long time and having to, wanting to provide my daughter with a life that is, better than what I had growing up. And so, the best part is the hope to know that I can determine how successful I am, right? If I work hard enough, if I put in the work and I see the vision and I go after it, and I can make that happen. And so I think the best part of it is just like the hope that comes along with it, and not dreading getting up every day to work. I don't live for weekends anymore. Now every day is so much more enjoyable, and that's one of the reasons that I wanted to be a coach, is to help other people to do that as well.
Yeah, when you're really passionate about something and you really feel good about what you're going to do that day and every day after that, it really gives a different feeling than having to wake up at 8 a.m., get in the car, drive for an hour, be there for 8 hours, drive back again, and go back to sleep.
And it was sparked in me when last year, my daughter had a summer break, and I was working at 8 to 5, and I wanted to take a week off for summer to spend time with her. And she basically, my boss told me, hey, you can't take any time off this summer because we don't have anybody to cover you. And I was like, so, she's only off school for 2.5 months, and I can't take 1 week off to take her on vacation somewhere. And the boss said no. And then, I got sick a few weeks later, and my boss told me, like, hey, you got to come in, even though you have a fever and you're throwing up and all these things, you've got to come in. And I thought, how are you going to tell me, like, this is my life? You're going to tell me that I have to come in when I'm sick. You're going to tell me how much money I'm worth hourly. And you're going to tell me that I can't spend my daughter's summer vacation, 1 week of it, with her, when I hadn't taken a vacation in over 2 years. So that's when I was like, no, I only get one life, and this is miserable. And I'm not doing it.
You really need to be in control of what you're doing, and your life is yours. It doesn't belong to him. Trading that time for money thing just is not, it's not really that great. I mean, at first you probably think about it, especially when you first get into the job market and that kind of thing. But as time wears on, you realize it's not good. And that's why we're entrepreneurs. That's why we do things like this. So we don't have to trade that time for money anymore. We can actually be in control of our own destiny and direct ourselves of where to go. If we need to pivot this way, we pivot that way. We don't need to ask permission from anybody to be able to change anything. So more power to you. That's amazing. Thank you so much for sharing that. All right. So goals. Earlier you talked about goals. In 6 months, where do you see yourself? I mean, you said you were kind of set goals for yourself. In 6 months, where do you think you're going to be in your business? Where would you like to be?
Yeah. So in 6 months, I would love to have at least 15 consistent clients monthly, where I'm seeing them, or 15 weekly clients, I guess, in the coaching. And then I would also like to be doing some consulting. So I haven't talked a lot about the consulting piece of it, but I would love to consult with some businesses on how do you keep your employees happy? How do you keep them from burnout? How do you keep them to, give them opportunities to take care of themselves? How do you build the teamwork, those types of things? I also kind of want to work in some churches and do some consulting with churches as well. So I think in 6 months, I would like to at least have started my consulting part of the business and have at least 15 consistent clients. I have some, I have clients now that have transitioned from therapy to coaching, and I'm loving that. But I want 15 new clients between now and indefinitely. So that's kind of my goal in the 6 month, and then start the consulting process.
That's fantastic. That's a very, very fantastic goal. Let me ask you a quick question here. Have you heard of the love languages? I mean, if you're a therapist, right?
I have heard of it. Yes.
Have you heard of the 5 love languages of employment? Have you read that at all?
I have not read it. I need to.
You got to read it. I actually came across that book right after reading the 5 love languages, the original book, but he actually transitioned that into employment and teenagers. So that might be something you want to look at.
I've read the teenager one. Yeah.
Oh, have you?
Yeah, I've got a preteen, so I've started reading. I read the kids' teenager one, but I have not read the employment. So that's really good information. I'll definitely check that out.
Absolutely. I'll send the name of the book, and I'm pretty sure that's the name of the book, or it's pretty close to that. I'll send that to you so you can just take a look at that. You have my son just turned 14, so
I have an 11-year-old daughter. So yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's a very interesting time.
It sure is. She's about to go into middle school, and I kind of miss the little age. I love her, but I'm like, well, you were so cute when you were little.
Yeah, what happened?
I know. I'm like, what happened? Now you're telling me to get out of my room, or out of your room. So.
Oh, all right. So here's what we're going to do with you, Bekah. In 6 months, I'm going to contact you again, and we're going to check up on you. We're going to do another podcast, and we're going to see how you've come along getting those 15 clients, how you've come along with your coaching, and see how much you've actually grown. And if all goes well, I really think you will have grown a lot.
I sure hope so.
All right. So at this point, I would like to ask you how we get a hold of you. This is your time to shine, okay? This is your advertisement time. So here we go. Ready? Go.
Okay. Yeah. So there's lots of different ways you can get a hold of me. On Instagram, I am at Sheer Vision Coaching. So that's SHEAR Vision, which is VISION Coaching. And so you can find me on Instagram and then also at sheervisioncoaching.com. So there's a form that you can fill out there and it comes directly to me and I will contact you. Also, you can email me if you prefer to do that. And it is Bekah, which is BEKAH at sheervisioncoaching.com. So I would love to touch base with you. I'd love to communicate with you. I would love for you to tell me what some of your goals are, some of your, dreams, some of the things that you want to be more fulfilled in. And basically what we do in the first part is I offer a free 30-minute consultation where we can kind of talk and you can tell me about yourself, tell me about your goals, and I'll tell you if I'm a good fit for you. I mean, of course, you can decide yourself as well, but I'll tell you if I can help you, if I can bring value to you, because that's ultimately what I want. And I will tell you, this is how we can do that. And so then I give you an assessment that kind of helps to pinpoint what areas you want to fix in your life or change or tweak a little bit. And then we create a plan together. So I would absolutely love to help anybody who, wants to change their life in any way and would love to talk to them.
All right, that's fantastic. I hope you hear that, Skoobelievers. We actually have Bekah here that's going to give you 30 minutes of her time to talk to you and see where she can help you improve your life. So thank you, Bekah. I really, really appreciate that. I want to thank you, Bekah, so much. You've actually really inspired me in a lot of different ways, and hopefully you've inspired a lot of different Skoobelievers as well. Thanks for coming out.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. You've been a complete pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, everybody. Take care. All right, Skoobelievers. That was Rebecca George. She was definitely one of my most fun interviews to do. It's definitely great to see how much she shows that she really cares about other people, and I'm sure she's looking forward to doing some work for free to help people out without charging them so she can help more people. I really like the quote that she gave us. It's definitely a good way to think about things where if it's not important to you, it's just a bunch of noise. So what are things that you have to listen to that's just noise, that's just bugging you, and everybody keeps telling you, do this or don't do that, and it's just not quite what you have in mind for yourself? What noise do you stuck listening to? Tell me in the comments. Once again, if you want to get a hold of Rebecca George, you can contact her at sheervisioncoaching.com. We'll have all that information plus the couple books that we talked about in the show notes. So if you're interested in that, head down there and take a look and see what we got going for you. All right. So now it's time for that special announcement. So I'm going to be honest with you. I have never in my life dealt with Twitter. I had no idea what Twitter was about, and I've always been kind of scared about Twitter and how that all worked. And I don't know, I guess I was just kind of scared, which goes into that whole fear thing that I always keep talking about. So about 2 months ago, I finally got up the courage, started a Twitter account, and started talking. And wow, it's got to tell you, it's kind of changed my world. I've actually been talking to a lot of amazing people, including Pat Flynn. He's actually been back and forth with me a little bit talking, and he is definitely one of my heroes. So it's been an amazing experience to be able to talk to him. But also I've talked to somebody else. His name is Chris Brogan. Now, if you don't know who Chris Brogan is, you need to. He is one amazing person, and he's written a couple of books, including Trust Agents and The Impact Equation, which has been mentioned several times in many other podcasts and is a bestseller. He's definitely a big name in entrepreneurship and podcasting. So as I've been talking to Chris Brogan, I've actually been sending him pictures of my barbecue. Apparently, he really likes barbecue, and I work at a barbecue restaurant. So, I invited him one time to come down to my restaurant if he ever found this stuff in the area down here. And he actually challenged me to put together a 300-person speaking engagement for him. And he would come down and actually do it. So, I am taking on this challenge. I'm actually trying to put together a 300-person speaking engagement with absolutely no idea what I'm doing. But I really have the utmost confidence I can actually pull this off. So if you want to join me in trying to figure out how this all works, I could definitely use any kind of input or like advice of how to do it. And keep listening for updates on how I'm actually pulling this all off. So, all right, everybody. If you want to get a hold of me, please contact me on my email at uepodcast2021@gmail.com. If you want to get a hold of me on my Twitter, you can reach me at djskoob2021. And you can always visit my website where I have a lot of great products and tools for you to use in your entrepreneur adventure at uepodcast.net. Also, I'd like to get my voice out there as much as possible. Please help me with my algorithms on iTunes and on Spotify and anything else that you're listening to by giving me a 5-star review. Any kind of comments, good or bad, would be most helpful. If you do leave me a 5-star review, I will make it a point to mention your name in my show. All right, everybody. Thanks for listening to my show all the way through. Make sure you tune in 2 weeks to listen to Anna and Jean. Thank you, everybody, and have a great day. Hello there, DJ Skoob here, and I just want to personally say thank you for listening to my program. I really hope you learned something. Tune in 2 weeks to listen to another brand new entrepreneur. And remember, I can, I am, I will, and I'm doing it today. As a worker of 2 full-time jobs, running a podcast and coaching, every minute counts in my day-to-day. It's hard to be consistent in any of my social medias. And at this point, I cannot hire a social media manager. Pinnacle AI to the rescue! I've been using Pinnacle AI for a couple of weeks now and seen big improvements in my outreach and consistency in all my social medias. Do you want to save time and increase your productivity too? Go to tuepodcast.net/AI for more information. Save yourself time and grow your brand. Try it now and see what it can do for you.